100,000 visitors, 4,500 exhibitors, and 140 countries. Yes, it is that time of the year again, and we are today at Gitex 2019. We will be speaking to industry experts, and our first guest in the studios is Farhat, who is a robot. Thanks so much for joining us, Farhat.
It's nice to meet you. I'm glad you could make it here to Gitex today, and I'm flattered you wanted to meet me.
I am glad too. So tell me more about yourself. Who are you?
I am a social robot. I am designed to interact with humans the same way you interact with each other. I maintain eye contact, show expressions,
All right, great.
conversations. Humans have evolved to interact with each other in a very engaging way, and it's a lot more fun than just starting at a screen or typing on a keyboard, don't you think?
I completely agree with that. It definitely is fun. This interaction is fun. So what exactly would you say are your use cases?
The possibilities are endless. In Germany, I am being used as a travel assistant, answering questions at airports and train stations. In Sweden, my home country, I have learned to conduct unbiased job interviews and how to act like a depressed patient in order to help psychotherapists practice. I have also been used to help kids learn to program.
Oh, that's great, Farhat. I mean, you're doing some amazing things. But let me ask you the one cliched question. Do you think robots will ever replace human beings?
I don't believe that robots will ever replace humans. That's certainly not my goal. I want to help humans, to make technology more human and empower you.
All right, great. And now we also have in the set Samir, who is responsible for Farhat, essentially. Samir, tell me more about yourself first.
My name is Samir. I'm the CEO and one of the founders of Robotics, which is a Swedish technology startup that's building conversational robots.
All right, great. So Samir, why do you think social robots is the thing of the future now?
I mean, well, if you think of kind of humanity, we've had this dream for 100 years, right? To build machines that are like us. And by like us, we mean like they speak our language, they have a face, they can emotionally interact with us. We've been for 100 years trying to build that dream, but technology has been, evolving, hasn't been really ready yet. And today, we feel like lots of these components are in place to finally build that machine and kind of get to that dream.
So robots are clearly the present right now, as we've been seeing in Gitex. But what is the future of robotics?
Well, I mean, when you think of a robot, usually you ask people, why do we need a robot? They think of things like a robot doesn't get tired, doesn't go on holiday, it works all the time, 24/7, and so on. And that's where robots are today. They work in factories, they assemble cars. The thing when you think about a human-like robot or a social robot, what we're trying to do is not really to use these kind of values of like the robot doesn't get sick or it works all the time, because all other robots do that also. Right. But what makes a social robot very unique, which is what we believe kind of the future of technology is going to be, is that it can have empathy, it can speak your language, it can look you in the eye and smile to you. It can engage you emotionally, and we hope that's going to be the future of technology, to make it more human.
But do you think it is going to go mainstream at any point where every household, everybody has a social robot as a companion?
For sure, yeah. That's really the ultimate kind of goal, is to have them as a commodity. I mean, the same way today everyone has a couple of computers, have a smartphone in their pocket, and there are millions of apps that other people have built. You can imagine robots to take a very similar kind of path. Today they are working in industry, in airports and train stations and clinics, but over time, as we figure out how to make them smarter and more people will build applications for them, the ultimate goal, or the final frontier as we call it, is going to be the home, where everyone has a robot at home that they can talk to.
All right, inshallah, hopefully that happens soon here in this country and we all have our own personal social robot. Thank you so much for joining us here. And thank you, Farhat, for joining us here. Anthony Shiner, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us. My name's Anthony Shiner. I'm from Telecom. I'm the Chief Digital Innovation and Transformation Officer, and great to be here today here at Gitex. It's fantastic, as always. Lots of people and lots of really interesting things going on.
Right, it's great to have you with us as well. So 5G, again, the big buzzword that we've heard, and Du has been announcing so many things about 5G for the last 2 years, if I'm not wrong. So tell us more. What are the major announcements with regards to 5G?
Look, 5G has been fascinating. It's the first time it's really coming to life. I actually got my fastest speed test, so I got myself over 1.4 gig per second on my phone. And we're actually starting to see that people have heard about it. We're now starting to roll it out. You can actually get do 5G here in the building and get those speeds that I just spoke of. What you're seeing here at the event itself is you're starting to see this link between what I used to be only able to do at home, I'm actually now able to do everywhere. And that's what 5G is going to enable. It's going to allow you to actually take some of the services and the software and applications that you used to only be able to do at home. Actually, it's in the palm of your hand and everywhere. Now, some of the announcements we've made here, including our ICT AI health platform, actually will allow you to interface and interact with a doctor when you're not there in real time with some of the most sophisticated technology and largest sources of data coming in.
So this is the AI-powered e-health services?
Absolutely, yeah, and it's fantastic. So basically, as an example, if you've got a retina problem or it's an indicator of diabetes, so the ability to actually go in front of a camera, it takes a photo, checks out your blood vessels, sends it to a doctor. We've also got a hologram event stage as well. A doctor can literally almost look like he's in front of you and actually see and give you direct feedback. It'll analyse huge amounts of information very, very quickly and allow you as a consumer to get immediate feedback. So these are the things that are going to go out of just the doctor's surgery and take you almost anywhere in the world and be able to do it anywhere, anytime.
That's great. So one problem I've had with 5G essentially is it's being used as a buzzword everywhere. Everyone's using it and throwing it around. But what exactly would you say are the use cases of it for us, for the ones who are watching us right now and for the people here?
Yeah. I think when people think about 5G, they're looking for the one-off thing. Now, when you went from 2G to 3G to 4G, most of those mobile networks were just still trying to catch up to the fixed network. When you look at what is the use cases that it's going to be the groundbreaking use cases, it's not going to be able to video stream, although video streaming will dominate the usage. I think it's going to be, we start to understand singularity, where no matter where you are, you're able to get exactly the same service. So if you're getting 1 gigabit per second speeds on a mobile network, what I do in the office, I can do anywhere. And it's this ubiquitous nature of services and experience everywhere is what 5G use case is going to be. Now, people are talking about specific little things like self-driving cars and what have you. When you think about the use cases that people are talking about, it's anything that requires huge amounts of data to be processed to create instant feedback mechanisms. 5G will mean you don't have to wait for a Wi-Fi network. You can do it anywhere, anytime. That's why autonomous cars is the easiest example of large amounts of data needing to be processed and 5G enabling that to come mainstream.
Right, Anthony, another major announcement that has been coming from the telecom sector essentially is their dive into entertainment. Can you tell us more about that?
Look, I think we're at a very interesting stage because when you look at entertainment today, people are used to the existing infrastructure, your pay TV, your free-to-airs, but actually they're demanding more and more and more over-the-top place. In other words, I want to watch what I want, when I want, and more importantly, where I want. So what you're seeing in entertainment and telcos like ourselves, we were the first in the region to announce Netflix, we were the first in the region to announce Amazon Prime. We're actually enabling customers, no matter what eyeball screen they're looking at, be it home TV, be it desktop, be it tablet and their phone, to be able to see any type of entertainment. Right. Customers are demanding more and more access to all the services they watch traditionally everywhere. And I think when you think about the way entertainment strategies are evolving, it's actually about how do I enable them to watch what they want when they want more often. And as we get to 5G, I want to watch it in HD, 4K and eventually 8K and do it everywhere. So we're seeing entertainment starting to shift. We're seeing the consumer start to get into control of what they want to watch, and we're seeing data being used to understand what are the viewing habits so that content is now being created to suit the emerging habits of most of the population.
All right, great. So much to look forward to, but thank you so much for joining us here at Gitex, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Thanks for your time. Cheers.
Thank you. And now we have Matt Wilkins from the VR Leadership Lab. Thank you so much for joining us, Matt.
My pleasure.
So tell me more about the VR Leadership Lab.
Well, first and foremost, I have to say thank you to Dubai Internet City, who have actually helped us bring this technology to Gitex. Biz Group, we're the exclusive partner for Jensen 8 here in the region. And the VR Lab has been built specifically with the goal of giving leaders a forum to practice leadership skills. I mean, there are so many things out there for skills-based training or technical training, but there's nothing for leaders to practice being a great leader.
So what exactly would you say is the challenge in the industry right now?
Well, if you take the example of an airline pilot, an A380 pilot will have to spend 7,000 hours practicing in a simulation or flying live routes, and yet when we put people into leadership positions, we just go, let's use the best salesperson or the best somebody at a task, rather than giving them time to figure out how to be a leader, how to coach, how to cope with change. And if you think about the Vision 2071, the UAE has a goal to be the best country in the world by that point. Now, within that time, technology will have doubled more than 20 times. So the only thing we know for certain is that things will change beyond anything we recognize now. So how do we develop leaders to be able to cope with that? And not just cope, but thrive in it. And that is where virtual reality becomes so compelling and is so useful, because you are able to transport people into an environment where they can accelerate the skills and practice giving feedback.
Right. So reskilling and upskilling is something that you have been actively doing. How does virtual reality come into that?
So if you put somebody in a virtual environment and change the environment around them, they have to adjust to it. They don't know what's coming next. The same way in a business sense, you don't know what's going to happen next year, what's going to happen with the economy. So how do you drive performance in that industry? The same thing applies in a virtual environment. You can adapt to change, you can change the environment, so you have to collaborate differently, you have to design think differently, you have to pivot, you have to collaborate in different ways, you have to empower people in different ways. So when you put people into the leadership lab, it is a multiplayer environment. It is the world's first multiplayer leadership lab in the world. It is the second lab in the entire world. The simulation, rather, is the first. And we are now going, how do we accelerate those skills? How do we give people that forum to practice that they've never?
Hopefully we can see it tangibly at some point here. And of course, we will be at the VR Leadership Lab in Gitex as well. So you should get a glimpse of that too. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Now from the automotive industry, we have Gary West from General Motors. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, thank you.
So Gary, tell me more about the major announcements at Gitex from General Motors.
Well, we're really excited today to announce OnStar coming to the UAE. OnStar is our connectivity platform that really focuses on safety and security. We've been at this for over 20 years, truly saving lives and helping people in their hour of need, and very excited to be bringing this technology into the UAE during 2020.
Right, so obviously safety is a huge aspect when it comes to roads. Road accidents are still one of the major killers. So I'm aware that General Motors has been coming up with a few announcements in the past, but anything substantial we need to know with regards to safety?
Well, as I mentioned, OnStar is very focused on safety. Out of the 1.3 million people who unfortunately die on the roads each year, 13,000 of them are here in the Middle East. So we and the team that I'm creating are very focused on saving and helping save every one of those lives.
Right, and of course all the customers, I'm sure you know, are moving towards sustainability. They're just becoming more environmentally aware, etc. So where does the whole electric vehicle conversation fit into all of this?
Well, we announced the Chevrolet Bolt EV coming to the UAE back in January. So we've launched the Chevrolet Bolt EV, which is the first long-range affordable electric vehicle from Chevrolet. From a point of view of the marketplace, it's like any new technology. There are concerns from the customers. If you think about it, the internal combustion engine, we've all lived, my grandfather, my father, and myself have lived with that internal combustion engine technology. So we inherently know about that. With any new technology, there has to be a period of awareness and education, and that's something that we're very much focused on. So we see there being a great opportunity here in the Middle East, especially here in the UAE, with the visionary leadership here in Dubai and in the other Emirates. You're starting to see more and more charging stations and more understanding of that electrical infrastructure and the technology as well. So see a great opportunity.
Right, are we also going to see a mass deployment of it in the region though soon?
I think so. I mean, when you say soon, time is obviously a critical question. And so I would be a very rich man if I could specifically identify a particular time frame. But we're seeing more and more awareness of electrification. And we will be bringing more vehicles into the marketplace. GM are committed to an all-electric future. Other manufacturers as well within the industry will be launching other electric vehicles as well.
Right, and of course artificial intelligence is a huge conversation here at Gitex this year for sure. So how does it fit into the entire automobile industry?
Well, when you look at future mobility, and the future mobility is, what are we going to be driving in the next 10, 20, 30 years? Then those technologies are connected, autonomous, shared, and electric. So when you think of that autonomous element of it, that self-driving element of it, that's where AI and that's where the self-driving machine code learning will actually be. So that may not necessarily be in vehicles that you'll be purchasing at the showroom. in the short term, but certainly as you move into more of that future mobility area where vehicles don't require a steering wheel and don't require brake pedals, that's where you're going to see AI and machine code learning.
Right, great. Thank you so much. There's so much to look forward to in the automotive sector. But it was great having you here, and thanks for those insights.
Thank you.
And right now we have Mohammed Al-Faifi from SAP. Thank you so much for joining us. Right, so what were the major announcements from SAP this year at Gitex?
So this year we are putting too many showcases and announcing to our customers. Number one, couple of them related to Expo next year, and one of them is related to Hajj in Saudi Arabia, and some other showcases for our customers.
All right. So I think one of the major lines from SAP has been the future of business has feelings. Can you elaborate on that a little bit for us?
Sure. Yeah, this is clear. So now it is all about customers and customer experience and experience economy. So customers, the customer feelings matter for businesses to make businesses successful or not successful. So we strongly believe that capturing that feeling and being able to act and react to that feeling, and today business is mandatory for businesses to sustain and to be able to retain those customers.
Right. Okay. And we've also heard about announcements from SAP about the new data centers in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, etc. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, in fact, we have a number of data centers in the region. We have in UAE, we have in Saudi Arabia as well, in Abu Dhabi as well. So the purpose of those data centers that been launched already last year, and they are live today, and they are having customers on them, is to enable the region and make them digitally ready, and also help the SMEs and governments to host their data in the countries. That is the foundation of more technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain, and machine learning, and so many other. So we didn't call it data center, we call it digital hub, because we believe it is beyond data center and hardware and hosting.
Right. And what would you say are the major sectors that SAP is planning on digitally transforming in the coming years?
So we are, the region is, the major industry in the region is oil and gas, for sure. So this is where SAP started their focus. However, we have expanded our focus and support to our customers. We are covering 25 different industries, from oil and gas to banking to public sector, entertainment, tourism, and so many others. And also helping SMEs as well to join forces with us and work in those industries. So we enable them and help them and provide the ecosystem that will carry on their needs for resources and manpower as well.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Ahmad, and thanks for those insights. I think there's so much to look forward to.
Of course. Thank you. Bye-bye.
From Microsoft, we have Yvonne Shabib. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Right. So, Yvonne, I'm going to ask you one main question, which is what are the major announcements at Gitex that Microsoft is making?
So we have done some announcement in Gitex, like the partnership with Avaya on Azure. We are doing more announcement as well for the construction industry for ArabTech along with Etisalat about transforming even the construction industry with leveraging the cloud solutions.
Right. Digital horse is something that I heard recently, and I thought it was very, very amusing for the viewers who don't know much about it. Can you explain it to us?
So yes, so the digital horse, you know that this is one of the major heritage culture in UAE, and the digital horse, basically, on a nutshell, is taking. So you leave nothing for chance. So you look at leveraging the AI, how you do the monitoring of the horses for their well-being, the management of the stables, up to all the things related to the well-being of the horses, the speed, the races, everything around it.
Right. Okay, great. So intelligent security is another thing that Microsoft has been actively covering, especially in the past. So do we also see a lot of announcements about intelligent security and how privacy of data and all of that can be maintained during Gitex?
Yes, and we recently we are showcasing. You can see this is actually a security warrior talking about security.
Yeah.
So for us, it's very important the security story across our cloud, as well as the threat protection for the employees of the enterprise, as well as for their data states is something big, and we are having a booth specifically an area for us on security.
All right, great. Great. Thank you so much for joining us, Yvonne, and thanks for those announcements. We all needed to hear that, and of course, Digital Horse, very excited about it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Right, and right now we have Alp Uysal from Ericsson. Thank you so much for joining us, Alp.
Hi, Shruti, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
Good to see you again.
Likewise, likewise. So again, major announcements, especially with regards to 5G from Ericsson. So tell us, what were the major new revelations here at Gitex?
Okay, well, we have announced already 20 contracts, 40 MOUs globally, and the most important for Gitex is that we have 4 commercial contracts here in the Gulf region that on 5G, and that is fantastic for the region. As you know, the region is leading other places like Europe, especially when it comes to 5G rollouts. So this is fantastic for us.
Great. So can I ask you this? What exactly would your USP be, considering every tech company right now is in the 5G race?
Okay, so we have a unique USP to start off with. Every single hardware that we shipped since 2015 is 5G capable. So all our customers need to do is to turn 5G on with a software upgrade. So we have more than 4 million units, radio units, deployed in the field with our customers. That's actually unique to Ericsson. The other thing is that thought leadership. In terms of 3GPP standardization, we led in terms of contributions in 2018. And 5G is about an ecosystem, not just us. We're not the, as you now know, and I'm sure the interviewers before me already mentioned. So we are working with 20 universities, 40 different industry partners in terms of solutions that 5G will enable. And in terms of terminals and world's first, we're also leading because we work with leading chipset vendors like Qualcomm and Intel. And that's very important in terms of interoperability. So when you turn on a 5G network, you need to have devices irrespective of which vendor. And as you know, we don't have terminal business, so we work with all, so that all those devices on our 5G network are actually working. And I think this is something that we can say also differentiates us from our dear competition.
All right, so finally what I want to know is, do you think 5G, especially with the scale at which it's being deployed here, has the capability of solving the broadband problems of the UAE?
I can certainly say it has the fundamentals. So the regulator here and the regulators in the region have been extremely supportive of the operators. They have given huge chunks of spectrum to operators to be able to deploy and to be able the capacity that 5G will be able to leverage. Operators are actually also leading the charge. They're among the world first in terms of deploying these networks. Of course, it will take time. As you know, we don't have too many terminals yet, too many devices to take advantage of 5G. But it will take time. But I can say we have a great start. And also, you probably have seen the startup and the future stars kind of area of Gitex. We are working with startups, industry partners, and actually corporations to also enable the promise of 5G. And it's very much actually a co-creation type of an effort. I mean, I think you had DP World. We're in active discussions with them in terms of really transforming, and since logistics is a big, big value proposition for the region.
All right, great. So much to look forward to. But thank you so much for joining us here, Alp.
All right. Thank you, Shruti. Good to see you.
Likewise. Thank you. And now I'd like to welcome Jihad Tehara from Evotech. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for your time.
Right. So Jihad, major announcements coming from Evotech. Tell us what the top ones would be.
Yeah, yesterday we made a huge announcement. We're very excited about it. It's really game-changing announcement for us as a company and for Sharjah, hopefully. We announced that we are building the first ever Tier 3 data center in Sharjah. That's a huge facility. That's really very important for us as an organization. We're working with Khazna to build that data center. Khazna is one of the largest data center players in the region, and this will mean a lot in Sharjah. This will help boost the digital transformation. You cannot imagine any digital transformation, any digital story without having a data center where all the data coming from IoT, from sensors, from the whole digitalization process need to sit somewhere. And what better place to sit other than a data center in Sharjah, basically.
Of course, but you are obviously doing a lot in Sharjah. We know about the SAPEC project. What's happening with that?
Yeah, so SAPEC is one of the largest municipal transformation projects. Okay, so we're almost done with phase 1 now of SAPEC. We're, a term would be transforming more than 600 processes in the municipality, more than 200 services online, and integration with 35 government entities. So we're very excited about this. I mean, it's something under deployment now. This is behind us. This is now we're just reaping the success now of that project, and we're announcing other transformation projects with other entities very soon in Gitex as well.
Great. So also you have been powering BIA and BIA's headquarters. Tell us how exactly that is taking.
So BIA headquarters is an award-winning headquarter, okay? So we're working with Johnson Control and Microsoft to turn the building into the smartest building in the region, okay? This is a fully AI-powered building. The building talks to you. So you walk into the building, there are more than 100 use cases. You walk into the building and you say, I want to take a vacation, I want to book a meeting room. It's all integrated. It's amazing. It improves efficiency in the building, it improves productivity of employees, and it has different journeys for employees, executives, visitors. It's really a game-changing approach, and we're taking this outside the BIA headquarters. So we're taking all the learning and now working with other developers into transforming other buildings in the UAE as well.
Right. One last question, Jihad. So apart from the appeal, the mass external facade appeal, why exactly would anybody prefer an AI-powered building?
AI-powered building, I always say there are three factors. One is the efficiency. So it's really very strong. It saves a lot of energy. Number one, when it knows how to switch on and off lights and energy and power. So this is a must-have. I always say that. The second one is productivity. So employee productivity is boosted and enhanced. And the third one is, as you said, the facade is the wow factor. So you walk into the building with all this productivity, efficiency, and the wow factor. That's really amazing.
All right, great. Thank you so much for joining us. It was great to hear all of these things coming from Evotech.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
And our final guest for the day is Fadi Hani from Avaya, who's got a lot of new advancements to share with us. Thank you so much for joining us, Fadi.
Thank you.
Right, so Fadi, I'm going to start with one thing. So I know you have this entire social push that you've been promoting. So how exactly do you think your tech is actually going to better the world?
Yeah. In Gitex, we have got used to introduce new things that helps the people improve their lives. Last year, we got an awesome solution to help Dubai Police launch special services for emergency. And this year, we're launching a special also portal for schools with children of special needs, or the determined ones, like they call them. So this portal will help improve the lives of the determined ones as well as their parents. We have found that parents don't get to connect correctly with the school, so we've created a unique way that improves the learning of the parents as well. So parents can watch the kids as they learn in school, and by watching the specialized teachers, they can learn from them and take away. Also, if the determined kids could not make it to school, they will be using video conferencing. They will be able to look at the school, look at the classes, and engage even remotely. One other factor that we have also introduced is the ability for the parents to track the school buses. And this is a very important thing for the kids with determination, because imagine if a parent is not at home and the kid arrives. That would be a big problem. So with the tracking of the buses, the parents are capable to know exactly when the kids are arriving to school and when they are reaching home.
All right, great. I mean, such great initiatives coming, and for a social cause, which makes it all the more better. But then what I want to ask you right now is from a small business point of view, of course, Avaya's technologies are really premium, state-of-the-art. Do you think this would be worth their investment?
Yeah. The small businesses today is not a question of investment. This technology today is part of the business. If you start a company today, there's nothing called IT department anymore. The company is technology and the technology. What is important for these small and medium companies is the choice of the technology. So what do I use? Do I use AI platform? Do I use blockchain? Do I use the internet? What is it that I need to use, rather than is it going to be worth the investment? I guarantee you it is going to be worth the investment.
Right, so it is obviously going to give them a competitive advantage as well, like you mentioned. But banking is another sector that Avaya has been focusing on. So how is it going to affect and impact the customer's experience?
Yeah. Banking is actually one of Avaya's sweet spots, and we are launching today with Mashriq Bank an awesome solution built on artificial intelligence that will enable the customers to interact with the bank in a more intuitive and enjoyable way, rather than the being hectic, going through the calls and the menus. They will be able to chat with the bank through a beautiful interface, menu driven, and they will be able to text and get their information in a deep learning fashion. I have to say here one very important element of AI. We hear a lot about AI taking the jobs of people. I don't agree with that. I think AI will take the jobs of people who do not use AI. That is what is it. So I encourage all companies and people to adopt the usage of AI. And this is the only way that companies as well as individuals can become relevant, and more competitive.
All right, great. Thank you so much. I mean, you've given us so much to think about. And of course, some of the great things Avaya is doing with this technology is just something to look forward to. Thanks so much for joining us here, Fadi. Thank you. And thank you for watching ABTV's Gitex live promotions. Again, like I mentioned, 100,000 visitors, 4,500 exhibitors, and 140 countries. We've got so much happening around here in Gitex 2019. But again, we've learned so much about 5G, about automation, about AI, and there's so much more to look forward to. Again, we are here at Gitex 2019, so head over to Dubai World Trade Center to get all the action.